Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Yes, we came, we saw, and we conquered. So today we're going to be playing the Conqueror. We have a decent replay of a Conqueror, obviously not from myself, but from someone else, and just a little battle from myself. So the Conqueror is a tier 9 British heavy tank, of course, with a very, very nice gun. It does have that HESH, which is very, very nice. However, I just feel that the Conqueror is missing something. I don't know what. You know, if you look at the line, it's a very good line. I enjoy playing this, the whole Conqueror sort of line. The FV215B is a great tank. But yeah, I just feel like maybe the armor, maybe I don't know. There's just something about the tank that, you know, it is a good tank, it really is. But I feel maybe the turret or something can be a little bit better, because other than the turret and the armor profile, it's a very, very strong tank. Very, very good tank. So as you can see, the turret is 178 and the hull is 135. So yeah, most tier 10s are going to penetrate you. Of course, you might get the troll bounce on the turret, but overall it is quite weak. So I do wish it had a better turret. More to go with the gun depression, and yeah, you'll be able to hold the ridges a bit more. So your DPM 2850, of course that is with calibrated shells, and the reload is just 8.42 seconds. So decent reload, decent DPM, but yeah, it's just the turret. So your penetration is 272 on your AP, which is very good. Your APCR is 342, which is decent, and of course your HE is 187. So penetration, you can't argue with the penetration. It is pretty decent penetration. Your damage, you got a 400 alpha, 340 on your APCR, and 515 on your HE. Aim time also very good at 2.8, and the gun dispersion 0.299 is also very, very good. And you have 7 degrees of gun depression to go with it. So not the greatest of gun depressions, but it will do. 37 miles kilometers per hour. And of course the consumables, you do have the special improved engine power boost as well to go with it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like the tank. I do like the tank. I think it's a very, very good tank. And with the HESH, you can do a lot of damage. I'm not going to lie. You can cause a lot of damage, especially when you are top tier. Up against those tier 8s, you can really punish them guys. Of course, when you're up against tier 10, the less tanks you're going to be able to penetrate with the HESH, because really you want to get as much of that HESH out as possible. Now, again, with the armor profile, I would rather lose some stats to give it armor. Honestly, if you're face hugging, yeah, you'll get bounces like I'm going to with this Tiger. But again, the Tiger's a tier 8 tank. Come up against tier 9s and tier 10s, like I'm probably never going to bounce these guys. So yeah, I would rather lose some stats. I mean, I don't know what I would lose. I really don't know, because I don't really want to lose the penetration, because the penetration is great, especially if you do come up against the tier 10s. The speed, I mean, yeah, the speed's slow enough. It's not that quick. I really don't know what I would lose. Maybe more hull armor, because the hull don't really matter too much, and just a little bit more turret. I wouldn't want to lose any penetration. But you know, I am happy to play it as it is. And it is a tank that I haven't played for a while, but it is a tank that I would play. And that is mainly because of the HESH. If it didn't have HESH, then I think the tank would really, really suck. But it is what it is, you know, and you can enjoy the tank. It is great, but just don't expect to bounce too much. And if you do want to bounce, you will have to go quite close to these guys, like I am here again with this Lerva. You will have to go quite close to them, maybe face hug them to try and get those bounces. My modules as well, I just feel that every game I play in, almost my module damage is getting just in crazy. Like I'm always freaking getting something damaged, which I don't know if that's the tank or it's just me. I really don't know. But you know, 3.8k, very, very easy to get that damage. I didn't have to work for the damage. Yes, I almost died. I almost lost my entire hit points, but you know, I feel that it was easy to do that damage. And again, you can do that damage quite often. And here, we're going to skip a little bit of it because it is a long battle. And yeah, the damage, again, in this game is pretty decent. It's actually Hall of Fame currently. So yeah, if you do play it, it's definitely worth playing because the line is great. You know, to get to the FV215B, which is a great tank, it is definitely worth playing. Again, the line I think is absolutely amazing. But if you do play it, do make sure that you load up the HESH. Make sure you take enough HESH, because especially if you are top tier, you can penetrate a lot more than you think. You know, this E75 side on, no problem whatsoever. And that's what I'm on about just there. He gets penetrated even though he's sort of kind of hold down. And I just feel that the turret especially could be a little bit stronger. And in fact, I think they could buff it a little bit more without even losing some stats, because it's not overpowered by any means. I don't want it really to be overpowered, but you know, give it a little bit of love. Why not? Give it some love, because not many people play it. You go into tier 8, tier 9, tier 10, and it's not a tank that you do see regularly. But yeah, it's a fun tank to play, and again, that is mostly to do with the HESH. So let me know in the comments, do you like the Conqueror? Is it a tank for you, or do you think it sucks? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, we're going to watch the rest of this game because it's just getting interesting. 4.4k damage. It is a 2 versus 3. There is some pretty nasty tanks still left, the Tortoise especially. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting finisher. 3 versus 2. Not many hit points left, or not too many hit points left on the green team, but there is still quite a few on the red team. So you've got to be careful with the Tortoise. He has insane DPM, and yeah, that really did not help our Conqueror. But even so, even if he does lose this game at this point, he's done 5k damage. You know, he's done his job. He's done pretty decent, but it is not over yet. I love the fact these two guys, the Emil and him, they're not looking at running away, even though they don't really have the hit points to deal with these guys. They're going close, you know, look how close they're going to these guys. They want to fight. He's on 300 hit points now, 52 hit points. You know, most people would try and run away at this point, but no, not these guys. These stayed, and these are fighting for that victory. So luckily our guy, he has the HESH, but this is what I'm saying. Make sure you do take enough HESH, because he now only has one shell of one bullet. He's got one shell left, and he could easily lose this game because of that. Because you got to remember, if he wants to use the HESH, if this Chrysler K comes sideways, he can shoot him. If he goes hold down, he could probably shoot his hatch. But I mean, he has made good use of that HESH. I'm not going to lie. He's made great use of the HESH. But he could have just done with a little bit more. In fact, I would probably take just as much HESH than you would APCR, but as you can see with the APCR, he is also running low on that. So just make sure that you take enough HESH, because you may need it. You're not going to fire all your shells, let's face it. You're not going to use all of your shells. So just try to use as much HESH as you possibly can. So as you can see, he does get lucky there with the bounce, which of course he needed. Gets unlucky with the miss. But at this point, they are both going sort of hold down, and it's whoever has the best turret. And to be fair, I would say the Chrysler K does have the better turret, but it's just, you know, who's going to get lucky, who's going to not, who's going to mess up at this point. Our guy's got 4 kills and 7,100 damage. He's going to want the victory because he's done so good. He's going to want the victory probably more than the Chrysler K. But at this point, with the Chrysler K just sitting there staring, he's going to have to do something. You know, time is running out. He's going to have to try and risk it and hope for another bounce, or he's going to have to do something. And he doesn't really want to come around this corner. You can see the Chrysler K just staring. So at this point, he has to risk it. Maybe he'll get another bounce, maybe he'll die, but at least even if he does die at this point, he went out fighting. You know, just look at the great job he done. And he misses, but he does get a lucky bounce. So he's going to go for the guy there, and as you can see, just 2 HP, and this is where the last HE shell will it comes in useful. He misses his shot, got all the time in the world, and he gets his 5th kill. Absolutely amazing battle, very, very good battle, and that is the kind of damage you can do with the Conqueror, especially with that HESH. So as I've said, let me know in the comments below, do you enjoy this tank, and is it a tank for you, or do you absolutely hate it? Let me know in the comments below, but for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.